Welcome to windy and cold Long Island, New York. Today we focus on what's going on in Sweden and other European countries relative to Tesla sales and how that might impact the stock. This is Greg for Teslafaninsight. Thanks once again for joining us. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're a repeat visitor, welcome back. It is brutally cold, but the benefit of the sunlight outdoors is actually great. So wanted to note that if this is your first time, welcome. If you're a repeat visitor, welcome back. Please join us on Patreon if you'd like more information on better investing and trading. So yesterday we did a show about the fact that Tesla sentiment was down to 94% negative in Germany among 100,000 folks. Just to get clarity on this, I called a friend of the show named Donovan who lives in Sweden. And I asked Donovan, are Tesla sales really bad going on down there? And he said completely the opposite. So today's show, what I'd like to do instead of, let's go through what's going on in the rest of Europe relative to Tesla. And then afterwards, I will go through and just get my general sense of what's going on afterwards. So bear with me because it is snippets of pictures of what's going on in Europe. So the first thing to note is that Tesla shut down for 3 weeks. The reason was the transition between the old and the new Model Ys. The next thing he pointed out to us is that in Sweden, once the shutdown occurred a few weeks ago, he saw about 10 trucks, each of which was about 11 Model Ys, pulling up into Sweden and went by him in his Model Y. The next data point he shared was that there are a lot of companies in Sweden in which the Tesla Model Y is the company car. Salespeople, service people, etc. Taxi companies, a large number of entities are now sort of Tesla-centric. So in Sweden and other Norwegian countries like Norway, with their 96% electric vehicles, Tesla's penetration is mind-blowing and continues to increase. Another data point he shared was one of the reasons why Tesla is so dominant and EVs are so dominant in Scandinavian countries is cost of fuel is extremely high. So he pointed out for basically a 150-mile trip from his town to Stockholm, it's about $15 worth of electricity, and the fuel costs are a lot higher than that. So the value proposition of electric vehicles, and then Tesla in this case, are high. He also pointed out that the number of charging stations continues to increase. The number of charging stations continues to increase, further giving penetration to more Teslas and people being more comfortable with Teslas. So overall, what he pointed out was if there are Tesla cars that folks in Germany do not want to buy, there's a large number of people in Scandinavia, call it Norway, Sweden, Denmark, all these countries that are interested in and will buy those cars. The next thing I wanted to review is, we know that there are taxis and all these other ancillary vehicles that are being used as electric vehicles with Tesla as well. So overall, what he pointed out is that there's a shortage of Tesla vehicles. There's 3 weeks or longer waits to get those vehicles in Sweden and in other Scandinavian countries. So the issues that are being had by America in terms of Elon's behavior or other issues is a non-issue. He then pointed out that when it comes to the Cybertruck, there's a huge waiting list for it, and there are a lot of folks that are ready to buy that vehicle in those countries. So those unsold American Cybertrucks may have a destination based on the backlog that folks are talking about. So in general, what I wanted to suggest from this video is that there's a large number of European buyers, maybe not in Germany, that are eager to purchase what Tesla is producing. And when you look at what's going on in China, which is in general slightly down, but still solid sales for Tesla, and what's going on in non-Germany Europe, we're going to see some solid numbers from Tesla from those two places. I expect that the European or the US sales of Tesla will be down, and in theory it's going to be down about 50%. But I was expecting a catastrophe across all markets for Tesla that are going on, and I have to reorganize my thinking to conclude that yes, Tesla will sell well, and if vehicles made in the United States, we know the Cybertrucks are being shipped to places in the EU that are approved, like Sweden and Norway, and being sold. But if they throw a few Model Ys in there to address the shortages that they're having there, it's entirely possible that Tesla's numbers could be stable to up, driven by high demand in certain places like Europe. So obviously we're going to find out what numbers look like a week from now, but the destruction that I expected to be happening for Tesla because of what's going on with Elon is not occurring, and therefore as we look into the future, I think we could expect perhaps some good things from Tesla. So don't be surprised if the stock price not falling and slightly moving up is not out of line with data coming in from other places other than the United States. My overall on this is I'm stunned. I thought Tesla would see a 50% cut in sales everywhere, and then that sales would hit revenue and profit, and then that would hit the stock price. Now I have to say, after listening to what's going on in Europe, I'd have to say sales are going to be down in the United States, but it's definitely up in Scandinavian countries. And one last note there, regardless of EV or ICE vehicle, the number one selling car in Europe right now is the Model Y, and now it's being updated, which is actually going to increase sales in my mind. So I would say the data is conflicting, and it may be more positive than I expected and that you may have expected as well. We look forward to your comments, particularly if you're a European viewer. Please share with us your thoughts, and we'd love to push that out to other folks as well. This is Greg for Teslafaninsight. And finally, we have our usual health tips. Please take time for your 20-minute walk each morning, and don't forget your 25 leg lifts per leg each day, and no more than once a week for fried foods. Once again, thanks for joining us. This is Greg for Teslafaninsight with a quick update on the fact that Tesla is booming in Sweden, Norway, and other Scandinavian countries, and they may even consume cars that might not be selling in Germany or other places where there are problems for Tesla. Have a great day. Tschüss, lehitrot, arrivederci, and thanks for joining us. Goodbye.